Hello, I'm Patrick Connors. This April 2017, I'm having a show at Gross McCleaf Gallery. I should also credit the Franz and Virginia Bader Fund Grant that sponsored much of the work that you're seeing here. Thank you. I went to the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts.
Full disclosure, I went to the Academy with Pat, and in fact lived with him and a bunch of other fantastic Academy graduates after we got out of school. This group includes Kurt Salmson, Doug Martinson, and Stanley Beelan. Incredibly fun time in my life. So can I be objective about my wonderful friend Pat?
Your paintings have always been great, but boy, they're just so terrific in this show.
Yes. Yes, I can.
Well, thanks for saying they've always been great. I don't know if that's always true.
And this despite the fact that he's not very good at taking my filmic direction.
Wave with both hands. Do the Nixon thing. Victory sign.
In this group of paintings, I'm painting light, air, and some of the monuments and foliage in Fairmount Park, the urban oasis that's on the northwest side of Philadelphia. For whatever reason, I'm drawn to the various synthetic or man-made structures. Originally, I was very interested, and still am, with the bridges, a 40-year love affair of sorts. I would start painting the waterworks, the dam, the Civil War Memorial by Smith, the Philadelphia manufacturer. And it's a stupendous stone structure there near the what's now the Please Touch Museum on the west side. I'm kind of curious why I'm drawn to them. I just find myself painting the foliage a good deal, but I can't resist going over and drawing Strawberry Bridge or painting it, or going over watching the sun decline behind the Smith Memorial, for example. Most people who know Laurel Hill Cemetery will recognize the phrase, "a place apart." One of the founders, when he couldn't find a Quaker burial place in the center city proper for his daughter, he started trying to find places outside, and he settled on that. It was a very unpopulated part of the city. He and a group of people dedicated it to a place apart, a cemetery, a sleeping place for the dead.
Pat, one of the things that I notice in the show is you have lots of preparatory sketches, which are incredibly beautiful, very painterly. Do you see them as works of art in their own right, or mostly for getting the idea down?
Good question. It has ping-ponged back and forth for a good while with artists, for centuries that is. For myself, I always do, I think, fall in the idea that these are works in and of themselves, if they're successful. It's a real delight just to go out there and paint. I have about 2.5 60-page sketchbooks that I have filled with drawings for the past year. Just going out there and working, no expectations, is a great liberating moment. And then there are a few sketches out of the many that are done that you think these have something worthwhile to them. Whether or not they'll be made into a larger, more ambitious work, I don't know. But I just enjoy doing them.
Do you do the large ones in the studio and the small ones on the spot?
Yeah, most of the small ones are done on the spot. Sometimes I'll do things out of my imagination. I've gone out for the day, or I'm in the studio and I start thinking about something I had seen that I painted. I'll grab a surface to paint on and just do something. But the larger ones are all studio pieces. Most of them have preparatory sketches that are specific. Some, if they're bridges, will have perspective drawings and so forth done for them. Probably in the past 15 years, maybe 20, I've been experimenting with a larger, expanded palette. particularly in the blues. I've been trying out different blues that give the vibrancy or chromatic resonance that is a bit more in the prismatic realm.
They're very poetic, and they have a elegiac and almost melancholy quality to them.
Yes.
And yet you seem like a pretty happy-go-lucky fellow.
I am. I hide the sad, hapless side, the dark side. My whole life, I've thought of life as bittersweet. It's just the nature of things. And maybe that in the paintings, despite my own personal outward appearances, in the paintings, that idea of an underlying poignancy is present.
When I look at them, I am reminded somewhat of Aikens, but also of some of the Venetian artists.
Thank you again. Yeah, definitely. For me, one of the reasons I came to the Academy was because of what little I knew then of Aikens. And I immediately latched onto this idea of painting space. In Turner, well, I know that he was looking at the Venetians, this idea, if you have space, what's possible? You depict space, where will you place the mind of the viewer? Where will you place your mind and your heart? So yeah, well observed.
Pat, thank you so much. It's a wonderful show. And there is a little bit of red, but those are dots.
Yes, I've been quite fortunate. Thank you, Sharon and Evan and Isa and Anna and Wendy of Wendy Frames, and of course my wife Crystal. So thanks to everyone and to all the buyers who are supporting this aesthetic. Appreciate that.
And one final shout out. As I recall back in our Academy days, you were very close to a teacher. You want to give this nice posthumous shout out to one of our favorites?
Oh yeah, thank you for that opportunity. Arthur DaCosta was always a big supporter of this idea of painting space and seeing the poetic potential for the artwork and the artists. So yeah, this is in many ways a legacy that I don't mean to blame him, but I'll credit him with some of the success there.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you, John. Terrific.